Okay. Family school staff calling NYC to ban keffiyehs. A symbol of hate. Again, it's actually like, it's insane that they get to dehumanize others under the guise of their safety. In the 1990s, Hamas leader, the Ahmed Yassin, said that we don't fight because they are Jews. Even if Muslims came to occupy us, we'll fight. Exactly. And you know what's funny about that, O'Day, which, by the way, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate everybody who helps, with this channel, who will donate super chats, become members, donate to my Venmo, become a member on Ko-Fi, any of that stuff. I appreciate you so much. And O'Day, you're always so generous. I like that you pointed that out because that's every single time I read something from the resistance, it is always about occupation, which is probably one of the reasons why they don't ever really let them talk on TV. Like you rarely see them interviewed in Western media or ever see them talk to. Like occasionally, like Vice, which is like a Western media company, an American company, they did a report where they let them talk. But for the most part, they don't let them talk because when you listen to them talk, you're like, wait, what are they saying? They're saying that it's about occupation, that it doesn't have anything to do with like religion. It doesn't have anything to do with, Judaism. It doesn't have anything to do with ethnicity. It has everything to do with the fact that Palestine has been being occupied for 76 years and living under this brutal occupation. And every year the occupation gets more and more brutal and they crack down more and more and take more of the land, and Palestinians deal with even more violence. So that's a really good point. Also, okay, so back to the call to ban the keffiyeh. The thing that's insane about this is how they dehumanize Palestinians by claiming that Palestinian existence is threatening to them and hateful to them. Like, imagine if it was reversed. Imagine if you said that wearing a cross or a Star of David was hate. So you're not allowed to wear a cross or a Star of David because that's hate. Or banning a MAGA hat, which could be argued as hateful, but we also have a First Amendment, so I wouldn't be in favor of that anyway. First of all, we're supposed to have free speech. And I know that there are private colleges for the most part, but in private companies, but the claim that wearing a keffiyeh is hateful is actually racist, because what you're saying is their existence is hate. Because the keffiyeh is a symbol of Palestinian struggle. It's a symbol of Palestinian struggle and their resistance and their resilience. Speaking of which, it's a symbol of Palestinian resistance, Palestinian freedom, Palestinian struggle for freedom. So by claiming that it's hateful, what you're doing is you are dehumanizing and depersoning Palestinians as a people. Sounds to me like you're calling for Palestinians not to exist. Sounds to me like you're calling for Palestinians not to exist, which sounds a little racist. Sounds a little Islamophobic. But like I said, everything is upside down world. Literally, everything is upside down world. They claim that Palestinians existence and that being Palestinian as a matter of existing and wearing a symbol of your existence and your struggle and your resistance, that's hate. Like, we see you. I swear I'm going to start wearing it as... I know, I actually try to wear it as often as possible when I go out because I want to show people that I want to normalize it as much as possible. Thank you, Marvin, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Appreciate your commentary, your genuine truth. Thank you. Okay, so some Jewish students, parents, and staffers are demanding the city ban Middle Eastern scarves in NYC public schools. They shouldn't be able to do that in a public school. It's one thing to do it in a private school. If they try to do it in a public school, I hope that someone sues them. We need some lawyers. Oh, thank you for the super sticker, Alcides. Alcides, thank you. Yeah, I hope that there are some lawyers that are following this that sue them on First Amendment grounds. You can't ban a scarf from a public school, a publicly funded school. My tax dollars go to NYC Public Schools, and I don't even have kids. Well, my dogs, my boys. Yeah, I would encourage everybody to have a keffiyeh. If you don't have a keffiyeh, you should get one and you should wear it as often as you can. Bad lefty. Yeah, it is. It is a First Amendment violation. That's why I'm saying I hope somebody would sue. Because that's, yeah. Members of a group of New York United in fighting anti-Semitism. Somebody look into that group and find out who they are. Because a lot of these groups are not even American. A lot of these like dark money groups are not even American, or they're just right-wingers. Sent an email to Mayor Adams and Chancellor David Banks, United Federation of Teachers President Michael McGrew, to ban the keffiyeh, which they said is intimidating and frightening. The keffiyehs worn in the school and at school events are not merely a cultural garment. They have been adopted as symbols in response to the slaughter of Jews on October 7th, the advocates claimed in the email. Yeah, that's just a lie. It's amazing how they can never tell the truth about their views. They can never just tell the truth about their views. Like, just be honest about it. Just be honest about it. They're not being honest about it. They're just lying. The symbol is prominently displayed at protests where chants, slogans, signs to openly call for the death of Israel and Jews, they said in the black and white checkered scarves, which have become a uniform face covering for left-wing radicals at pro-Palestine demonstrations. Again, this is so racist. Just as swastika's historic symbol of peace was co-opted by the Nazis, the traditional Arab scarf, despite its cultural roots, has now been adopted by the groups that promote violence. Oh my gosh, this is so ridiculous. Again, it's just racist. By comparing it to the swastika, that's literal just like racism. You're just being racist toward Palestinians and Arabs. Why don't they consider Arabs and Palestinians Semites? Because they're racist. Thank you for the super chat, Naimit. Exactly. That is such a good point. They want your entire identity to be called terrorism, which is what they're attempting to do. All over. They're attempting to equate the identity of the Palestinian as being equated with terrorism so that they can basically legislate you out of existence. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to put it into law and to legislate that the keffiyeh is a symbol of Nazism, or that it's anti-Semitic, or that it's this, or that it's that, or that criticizing the Israeli regime is promoting it or anti-Semitic. They're doing that because they want talking about Palestine, and they want acknowledging the existence and the humanity of the Palestinians to be equated with terrorism so that they can shut it down. Because obviously, what's terrorism? It's illegal. So if you can equate Palestinian existence with terrorism, you can make being Palestinian or talking about Palestine or wearing a keffiyeh or even acknowledging the humanity of the Palestinians, you can make it illegal. That's what they're doing. That's what they're attempting to do. It's really not just insidious, it's insidious, but it's also insane. Oh, that's it. That was it. Brooklyn's paraprofessional James Parra, who was eventually fired from PS 414, sparked outrage last year after posting an Instagram wearing a keffiyeh. The city Department of Education's dress code specifically allows for headwear worn for religious observance as well as headscarves. It prohibits attire that includes references that discriminate on the basis of race, color, creed, religion, religious practices, ethnicity, national origin, or other characteristics. Yeah, which it doesn't. It falls in the first category. It's worn for as a headscarf for either religious observance and or the existence and the freedom and liberation and struggle of the Palestinians. Again, they're trying to legislate them out of existence here. Any mention of them. They want to legislate their identity out of existence and make it illegal to talk about their identity. We're also committed to providing supportive and inclusive learning environments while protecting First Amendment rights. DOE spokesperson Nathaniel Sire told the Post, "Sure, Jan, if there's a complaint, we assess it on a case-by-case basis and determine next steps based on the facts." You know what's such horseshit about this too? Is that what's such bullshit is that they have what's such bullshit about it too is that they fired someone, a teacher or somebody that works for the DOE for wearing a keffiyeh, when it just shows what a assault that there is on Palestinians and freedom of speech in this country on behalf of the Israeli regime, because it's actually not easy to get fired from being a teacher in this country because of the unions, thankfully. Because of the unions being pretty strong in New York City, which is great. I'm very pro-union. It's not that easy to fire a teacher. So the fact that they were able to fire a teacher over that is really just shows you. It shows you the power of their lobby, of the Zionist Israeli lobby. It shows you the power that they have, that they were able to get that teacher fired. But it is very much unconstitutional. It is racist. It's Islamophobic. It's anti-Palestinian. And I hope someone sues. Like, someone needs to sue. This needs to be sued. Like, people need to get sued over this. Bingo. Thank you for the super chat, Naimit. Unions are weak as hell in Wisconsin. But yeah, man with the long last name, that is something that also happened over time. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, this is what I mean when I say, like, we have to look at the long game like the right wing looks at the long game. So many people don't want to look at the long game. They just want to be like, let me vote and go back to sleep. I'm just going to vote for Jill Stein and go back to sleep. I'm just going to vote for Kamala Harris and go back to sleep. Republicans play the long game. And the assault on unions in Wisconsin, if you actually like look into the history, I'm sure you know it because you live there, but I'm speaking generally to people. That assault was over time. Like, Scott Walker, who was the governor of Wisconsin, he got elected. He was bought and paid for by all big business. They implemented right to work laws, which again, they always do like the opposite of what the law is called. So the law was actually just like an assault on workers, and they decimated unions. And they did a ton of gerrymandering in Wisconsin, so it would make it really hard to fight back. There was a pop-up group called the Radicals. Ear sludge. I love wearing my keffiyeh in New York, in New England based grocery store. I get some nasty looks. That's funny. What happened in Wisconsin, you guys, is such a perfect example of why voting does matter and why you should be voting up and down your ballot. Because again, a lot of this stuff happens over time. And Wisconsin is such a great example of that. The way that the right wing systematically gerrymandered it, did voter suppression over time, so that because Wisconsin's a swing state, the way they decimated workers' rights and implemented all those draconian right to work laws, like those things happened over time. And a lot of it had to do with people not voting in midterms or down ballot. D. Jenny Abel, $2. Oh, that's really sweet, Jenny. That's really sweet. But I appreciate that so much, but definitely don't give money that you don't have. I try, I obviously appreciate so much all the people that support my work, become members on YouTube, become members on Ko-Fi, donate to my Venmo, give super chats, whatever the case may be. I appreciate it so much. But like, if you don't have the money, I don't ever want you to feel like don't spend money that you don't have, obviously. Like I get not having money. That's literally me my whole life. Like I'm like, my back hurts from like sitting in this really uncomfortable chair. But thank you. I appreciate it. I feel so old. Yeah, tell me about it. My back is hurting so bad from sitting in this stupid chair. Also, you can subscribe to my YouTube, which is free. Is Bibi planning an October surprise invasion to Lebanon? Bro, that guy should be in jail. Like, seriously. Like, why Netanyahu was not in jail, I need someone to explain.